Hello and welcome. We have 1st of March and I have to be using headphones because everyone around is shouting, using vacuum cleaners. So it's not easy to focus. But anyways, if you want a consultation with me, just check out the WhatsApp number below and just send me a message and that's it. And we'll set up a consultation. So let's get back to our analysis and let's see what is being played in the sky in March, because March is just the beginning of the very, very interesting events of 2025. As I said before, January and February were not as interesting as April is going to be. So we are going to touch April as well, but let's focus on March to begin with. And let me just turn the banner off so we'll have more room on the screen. And you'll be able to see both me and the horoscope of the events to come. So first of all, we have to focus on the current setup that we have in the sky. And as you can see, we have loads of planets that accumulated in these two signs, in Pisces and Aries. So there are lots of messages on social media and media in general about the big planetary lineup. Is it a big planetary lineup? They're not in the line. When we look at them in the sky, they do look like they aligned in a line, but it's a horizontal line more or less, and it's not vertical. So vertical for astrology would be much stronger. We just have accumulation of a number of planets in two sectors of the sky. Let me just give you a quick look at how it looks on a sky map. So this is the 1st of March. We can see that a number of astrological planets plus the sun, if we are talking about astronomy and moon, they are not planets for astronomy. So we have Sun, Saturn, Mercury, Neptune, Moon, and Venus that are accumulated here in this region. But how does it look like from a perspective of a 3D solar system? This is how it looks. And we do have some sort of a lineup, but we would like to have a line like that for the most powerful interaction, with the sun. But we are going to have quite an interesting, let's say, lineup in, I think, January 2026. Let me compare it with you. So that's April. We'll get back to this setup in April as well, because we almost have one continuous line, but the sun is off. So we would need the planets to be aligned with the sun to have a proper conjunction or opposition in the sky regarding Earth, but not yet, and it does not happen too often. And that's 2026. We'll get back to it later, because that's close. That's very close. Anyway, so let's get back to our horoscope of March. So first of all, in Pisces we have Ceres, Sun, Saturn, Moon, North Node, and I think it is Mercury. Yes, and Mercury. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factors are in Pisces. Pisces are associated with higher emotions, unconditional love, compassion, artistic expression, dreams, and highest form of emotions, as Venus would represent basic emotions. That would be Moon, but Venus would represent love, beauty, and emotions, and love. So Pisces would represent the archetype of Neptune, so higher octave of Venus. And because we have so many planets in there, we are still in the dreamy world, in our fantasies, and the whole world is still thinking that everything seems to be fine and where it should be. And I think that this dream is going to end quite soon in April. But still we do have a number of planets as well in Aries, and that is what do we have in Aries? In Aries we have Venus, we have Aries Proserpina, Chiron. So 1, 2, 3, we have a lot of Fortune is just a momentary speck in this case. So we have 3 indicators in Aries. So again, this is this dreamy energy that is going to... Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't say that Neptune is still in Pisces. Yeah. So there's lots of energy still in Pisces. And this energy will gradually move into Aries. And Aries is a zodiac sign responsible for initiating action, metal, iron, fire, and war. Where Pisces would be rather on the peaceful side of the zodiac. So we are still in this world of illusion and delusion. And when you combine these 2 signs, they are very... If you have one of these zodiac signs very strong in your horoscope, and it is having interaction with the other one, it is like you have something on your shoulder, so it is very difficult to have a look at it and to interact with it. You need a mirror or someone else to give you directions. What have you on your shoulder? How it is interacting with you. So this is what's going on right now, because these signs, from their nature, it is difficult for themselves to understand how to interact with each other. And at this stage, as I said, we are still in the world of dreams and illusions. When water meets with fire, we have steam, we have fog, and water will try to put the fire down, and the fire will try to turn water into steam. If you have steam and fog, clouds, this is what creates more illusion, and these are the themes for March. So we, not only for March, this is for the whole year, but that's later on. So what I would expect in general from March is we are still in the illusion. And the illusion, in my less than humble opinion, will turn into another illusion when Neptune switches signs from Pisces to Aries. That's at the very end of the month, on the 30th of March, as far as I remember. But then we will have this initiative action, because the first degree of Aries is described by some, and I would be on this side of astrologers, that the first degree of Aries is something like a global ascendant that exists at all time, and if a planet finishes the whole run in the zodiac and starts a new one, entering the first degree of Aries, that's a very important ingress for any planet. So some of the planets do it, like Moon, in every 28 days, Sun does it every 365 days, but Neptune does it every 170 years. So that's a very important indicator that action is going to be initiated. But let's try to find some interesting aspects through the month, and we are going to have 2 eclipses as well, one lunar and one solar eclipse, that are going to be significant as well. So this is the first point, that's the 1st of March 2025. This is the first interesting point. When Neptune, Mercury, and Moon, if I'm right, let me just check. Neptune, Mercury, and Moon, and North Node. So 4 indicators are creating a loose, it's not an exact conjunction, a loose conjunction in the sky in the very last degrees of Pisces. So I still expect this dreamy, illusionary, fantastic feelings that are being cast into the future. So everything is going to be all right. Problems in Ukraine will end. Problems in the Middle East will end. And so this is the information that is going to cast into the future. But as I said before, the first months of this year, especially January and February, were months where not really too much action was taking place, and they were to trick us that there's not really much interesting stuff is going to happen this year, but there is lots of interesting stuff that is going to happen this year. So that's the first point. And the second point here is that I've marked Jupiter sextiling, and this is because of the green light I'm having. I can't really properly see the colors of the on the screen, but we have Proserpina and is it Proserpina? No, that's Venus. Venus in the 10th degree of Aries and Jupiter in the 12th degree of Gemini are in sextile. So Jupiter is giving loads of energy and expansion force to Venus in Aries that is going to get into retrograde movement in Aries quite soon. But still, as I said, this illusion that is still being run all over the world, everything is running fine, everything is good, is exalted and powered by this sextile that is giving this feeling of, because Venus is responsible for good looks. And if we are talking about conversation, if someone has Venus in conjunction, for example, with Mercury, usually such a person is a great talker, is a person that can speak really well. And in this particular moment, as I said, this is just doubling the illusion. This is time where people that can talk and act really nicely in public can be seen as the ones that are claiming and making everything easy to understand and to follow. So these are the first days of, this is the first day of March. And as I said, we are still in the illusion and much is going to change. What did I mark next? That's the 2nd of March. And as I said, this sextile between Jupiter and Venus. And then this point is still Neptune, not yet, not fully, but does get a similar sextile energy from Pluto, from Aquarius. So especially this point of horoscope, if you are born in the first days of Aries, this year is going to be quite exceptional for you. So this conjunction from the 1st and 2nd of March 2025 is getting this Pluto energy from Aquarius as well. So there might be pressure all over the world for keeping the illusion running. From the let's say the deep state will say everything is fine, everything is good, we are in control. You don't have to worry about anything. So these are the themes for the first days of March. Let's move forward. That's the 11th of March, and I've marked here a conjunction of Sun with Saturn, and in the same time we have a conjunction of Venus and Mercury in Aries. This conjunction is powered by trine from Mars, and let me let me tell you what it means. Because more or less, these are the days that slowly everything is going to start. First of all, most of the planets, not most of them, but many of them just finished retrograde movement, so they are not into full speed yet. Mars just ended the retrograde movement on the 23rd or 26th of February. So it is still moving slowly forward. The same applies to Uranus as far as I know. And Venus just moved retrograde. So March isn't still the month when we'll see lots of dynamic action. Not yet. But this day, the 11th of, more or less, 11th, 12th, 13th of March, is a period when ego, vitality, the basic astrological energy will meet Saturn in Pisces. So this is this basic energy that meets with the reality of the world. So imagine that you're a very happy child going to school. What a nice day am I going to have today? Child goes to school, the day starts with getting bad marks from their teachers, and then the child is being bullied by his colleagues, and all of this energy is fueled by Mars. For a second, I have to have a sip of a drink. So, and Mars is in Cancer, so I would expect globally that this time might show us situations like we had with Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Trump, when Mr. Zelensky just met reality, when the American empire said, listen to me. The only way is you give us all the rights to all the riches that Ukraine has, or that's it, no more aid. And this energy is fueled by Mars being in Cancer, so let's say by the war energy that is in the roots of the family. So let's say some sort of nationalism is going to take place here as well, but this is the basic astrological energy of any horoscope meets reality in Pisces. But as I said, we are still in Pisces, so these energy are elusive and difficult to understand. But this is the first point of the next couple of months that we might have a hint of something might be wrong, and we might be misled. And to all of that, we have Mercury that's still moving forward, but is getting ready to get retrograde soon, is meeting Venus, that is already retrograde in Aries. I would expect lots of, let's say, peace talks all over the world, and governments and individuals from the governments trying to get some sort of peace talks. Usually, this type of constellation wouldn't be bad for peace talks in general. This is when the intellect meets beauty. So, as I said just a couple of minutes before, if someone has Venus and Mercury in conjunction in their horoscope, they are usually very good talkers. So, peace talks would be successful if we didn't have this conjunction of basic vitality and reality in Pisces. But we can expect lots of some sort of peace talk taking place all over the world. Are they going to be successful? We'll see. Let's get to the 12th of the month. That's the exact moment when we have this, the world's ego meets their reality, fueled by some sort of nationalistic aggression, fueling this very point. So countries may turn into themselves instead of serving and helping other countries. Isolationism would be a subject during these days, but it's still not. This is not yet that the interesting moments are going to come later on. And this is the 19th of March. 2025, when is it Sun? Yes, we have Sun in the very last degrees of Pisces meeting Neptune. And then for a brief moment, this conjunction is going to be fueled by trine from the moon, so even more emotions. And as I said before, this area is very important because it's fueled by Pluto. Later on, it will be fueled by Uranus as well. But there's lots of energy accumulating in the first degree of Aries. That is important, as I said a couple of minutes ago, because this is the beginning of the zodiac, and some say, and I think I would as well, that this is the moment where everything resets in the horoscope. So if a slow-moving planet enters these degrees, like Uranus did a couple of years ago, I think it was 2011 when we had Fukushima. So Uranus and Aries gave us this sort of a earthquake all around the world regarding Uranus nuclear energy and problems with it. So this area is going to be affected by Neptune entering this area very soon, together with Saturn. But not yet. This is the last moment, the 19th of March, when this energy of dreams, compassion, and illusion is going to be extra fueled by the presence of astrological ego, of the sun, of the basic vitality. So I would expect the last breath of illusion, compassion, unconditional love energy in this year, the last breath. And I expect it to be a big one, because a couple of days later, on the 30th, Neptune will move into Aries. That's the 28th of the month. We are minutes, hours before Neptune enters the first degrees of Aries, and we still have this trine between Saturn and Mars, and we have Moon, Venus, Venus, Neptune. Saturn is close as well, and the North Node in Pisces. This is one big loose conjunction, but we have to think about it as a loose conjunction, where we have all of these energies, Piscean energies, getting ready to move into Aries, and we have still one planet getting back from Aries, that's Mercury, that is going back into Pisces, and this is the 28th of March. Still, illusion is being played, and this is the 13th of April. This is the time that I wanted to talk about, because, as I said, March is just the preparation for the move forward that we are going to expect in April. So we still have this big conjunction of planets here in Pisces, and this is Ceres, Venus, Mercury, Saturn, and Neptune already entered Aries at the very end of the month. These three areas, this area, and this area, and this area, they are more or less in trine. This is a trine, and we have two sextiles. I bend them outside of the chart. So massive amount of energy accumulated here, fueled by family and nationalistic aggressive sort of energy, giving extra tension and extra power to this conjunction. And two of them meet here, where we have Uranus at this stage of the month. That's around the 13th of April 2025. 25, I would expect this period of a year, because Uranus is doing, let's say, the banking job. It's reevaluating our possessions and the way we treat goods in our life through its journey through Taurus. And this point here, it might be the first indicator of the final job of Uranus in Taurus, because when Uranus is done with its job in Taurus, it means that our banking system, our financial system, and our systems of how we see possessions will be revolutionized at the end of this cycle. So I would expect it to give, that might be the first blow to the financial system. I have no idea how they work. I don't know whether it's gonna be like that or like that. I can't give you advice in this very much, but I would expect something unexpected happening to the financial system because of this setup. And still we have to think that we have a conjunction of Sun is in the late degrees of Aries. That's Sun, Proserpina, Aries, and Chiron meeting in the sky as well. In the late degrees of Aries, I would expect this to be a moment of tension and energy release all over the world. So I would expect April in general, because this is a construct that takes a couple of days and weeks to accumulate and then release the energy. But we'll talk about the astrology of April later this month. But this time I will try to do it a bit earlier, because this is the 1st of March right now, and I'm a bit late with this horoscope for March. So I would expect April to be extremely interesting. So that's it for today. I'm going to shoot another video regarding the eclipses that we'll have in March, because they are going to be quite important as well. But we are waiting for April. That is going to show us some flamboyant action, let's call it like that. If you want a consultation with me, you have the WhatsApp number in the description below. That's it, and hopefully I will cut out all the background noise with a software program for cutting up the background noise, because it's quite noisy all around me. So that's it for today, and I am working on the videos regarding 2 eclipses that we'll have in March. That's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.